Thank you, Professor Van Ruysen, and my thanks to the Honourable MEP for hosting this event, these important discussions. As a British Eritrean, it's a double honour to be addressing these EU roundtable discussions and give an overview of the impact of war and political violence from a psychological perspectives. On my journey to work yesterday, I was listening to the news coverage and reflecting on the devastation that the current war in the Gaza Strip is causing. Then I heard the interviewee state that something that resonated with me. In conflicts of the past, it had always been women and children first for rescue, women and children first for on trains, women and children first aboard boats of conflict zones. Women and children first for food aid and medication. But nowadays, the woman speaking was explaining that the devastation of this conflict seems to have targeted women and children first for devastation. There are reports of rapes, hunger, thirst, difficulties in evacuation or sheltering that seem to devastate the most vulnerable first. Of course, some of these difficulties are consequences rather than deliberate acts, but some aren't. Those of us who have been following the war in Tigray, and as bravely expressed by my colleague Kohob, have come to the painful realization that the heinous rapes and barbaric sexual violence were used deliberately to inculcate terrorization and traumatization of an entire nation, as were the massacres that targeted people who had attempted to access their sacred sanctuaries, their places of worship. Community elders, priests, sheikhs, and other leaders were targeted to show that nothing was sacred, no one was immune, and nowhere was safe, causing a certain traumatization of an entire nation, whether or not nationals were located in the vicinity. And this collective traumatization is, of course, in addition to the devastation and traumatic stress that is caused to individual victims. Other contexts of political violence in the region are not different in their approach or effect either. The UN Human Rights Commission report that was mentioned by my colleagues Bayana and Tadesse, as well as the reports of the special rapporteurs since, including the one that we have just received, are a testament to the evidence of that the Eritrean government maintains its brutal rule over the nation, the entire nation, through instilling a very deep fear that has left Eritreans no option but to flee their country in their droves, often risking their very lives. The problem with this level of traumatization at both the individual and the collective level is the fact that the painful memories are then locked in the individual psyche as well as in the collective narrative, making the pain, the anger, and the anger associated with it potent, affecting the individual and their community from moving forward into the future. People become stuck and hostages and become hostages of the past. Communities live in limbo and are unable to attain healing and all the advantages that come with that healing. In this frozen mode, they wait, ready to fight back the next time or ready to flight in the event of the next time. The difficulty is that in their hyper alert mode, it means that their assessment of the next time is affected, and hence the fight or flight can be triggered erroneously, including by people who would benefit from the fight-flight mode. Example, a warmongering political system or a human trafficker, respectively. By consequence, those wanting to move the individual or the community forward, example, peace-building efforts or development aid, would fail due to the mismatch in mentality or mode of thinking. Unfortunately, trauma support at the individual or worse still at the collective level isn't always prioritized in emergency or post-conflict contexts. and this hampers peace building and post-conflict development. People need to heal and communities need to recover before they can appreciate the benefits of peace building and development and partake in activities geared for this. Without such healing, their systems will be on the alert to either fight or to flee the next conflict, even the remotest chance of the next conflict. This maintains a cycle of violence and flight that in our digital era seems to be getting shorter and shorter, and the violence erupting quicker and with extreme vigor. It is therefore in our collective interest for the EU and other global players to recognize the impact of traumatization in maintaining cycles of violence and prioritize trauma healing and recovery during our considerations of post-conflict contexts. And in that, let us put women and children first for protection, for healing and recovery in order to give a peaceful future a chance. Thank you.